Hey everyone, welcome to this week's live. I'm just going to cover the top 22 blocks to a six-figure business because I feel like a lot of people think that just setting up a funnel is all you need and that's it. Well, the inner work is crucial, but I want to kind of help you create some type of framework or your own custom plan for the inner work. So I'm going to go over the top 22 blocks and you might see something or identify with something on the list, and that will help you get started on your shift so you can easily hit six figures or keep the six figures that you make, because that's also an issue. But let's get started. All right, so all right, good. Can you all see the slides? I know it's a little lower, but so let's start with the first four. Imposter syndrome. That's something a lot of new entrepreneurs deal with. Even if you aren't an entrepreneur, anytime you try to go for something new, imposter syndrome is going to pop up. And the way that imposter syndrome already have two, these are the most common that I've seen running sessions. So whenever a client signs up for a one-on-one session, I send them a questionnaire. And then during the session, I also check off certain blocks. There are 55 in total, but these are the top 22. And so a lot of these comes up. And here's the thing, when you're running your business, you don't really have time, or you feel like you don't have time to take a moment and pause to check in with yourself. And the reason why you should care about releasing these blocks is that the hard work, the struggling that you're currently doing in your business, it's tied to these blocks. So if you feel like an imposter, you might go above and beyond in every aspect of your business just to make sure that you feel like you deserve the success that you have. But constantly going above and beyond is going to burn you out. The next one is launch trauma. So this comes up when you just started your business and you feel like, oh, I only had one person sign up for my group, or I had 0 people sign up, and you feel ashamed and you feel scared the next time you launch that this is going to happen. And so you kind of may hide the launch, or you may not go all in, so you don't feel the same disappointment that you felt when you did go all in your previous launch. And so you're just then holding yourself back from going all in the future during future launches. So that affects your revenue, of course. And so it's a vicious cycle of you holding back every launch and then failing and saying, see, I knew I'd fail. And then you hold back even more. By the time you get to like your 5th launch, you're just kind of thinking like, should I even run a business? Am I made for business? When it simply might just be launch trauma. The next is self-sabotage. That's something I've been talking about a lot this month. I have a free challenge that I was running to help you release the limiting beliefs that are linked to self-sabotage. But self-sabotage will bite you in the butt because you may get a new client or a new customer, and then you start to think that you're not deserving of this client or this new customer, and you'll do something that inadvertently will ask them for a refund or lose or get a lackluster review because of self-sabotage. Another thing is people pleasing. People pleasers often are the ones that end up getting burnt out because you are so busy worrying about everybody else, so busy worrying about what you should be doing in your business or what your coach, even when you hire a coach, that can also affect you because you're too busy doing what the coach says instead of taking the framework and taking advice from the coach and implementing it your way, that you just at the end of your coaching contract, you're still in the same place because you didn't allow yourself to grow because you're too busy trying to make the coach happy versus yourself. So that's one way that people pleasing may affect you on the way to 6 figures. The next set of blocks are fear, and fear, specifically fear of success and fear of failure. So a lot of people know about fear of failure and oftentimes will focus on not failing. And being risk averse is not good, especially in business, because sometimes the bigger the risk, the higher the payoff. But that's why you need to take calculated risk. But if you're in constant state of fear, it's hard for you to calculate. So fear of failure is keeping you from really leaving your comfort zone where the money is. The money is outside of your comfort zone. So if you're afraid to leave it, that's why you don't have the money. And then fear of success, that's something that a lot of people don't realize, but we have in the back of your mind, or we have in the back of our minds, what we could possibly lose when we're successful. So if you have a group of friends that you're really close to, but they may not be starting businesses or thinking the way that you want to think or where you want to go, you're afraid that you're going to lose all your friends when you're successful. The whole saying, it's lonely at the top, comes to mind. And so you may be limiting yourself because you're afraid of losing your friends because you're now successful. Or you're afraid, if you're someone that is a woman or identifies as a woman, you may feel like, oh no, if I'm successful, I'll make more than most men and it'll be hard for me to find a partner. Or if I'm successful, my marriage might suffer. Things like that. The next thing is ADHD burnout. So if you're someone that's been diagnosed with ADHD, you're most likely masking or using advice that doesn't apply to your type of reward system or your nervous system. Because with ADHD, we have a different type of nervous system. It's interest-based. So if you're trying to mold your nervous system and your reward system to something that's neurotypical, that's going to lead to burnout. The next is business burnout. So ADHD burnout and business burnout are different in respects to a lot of neurotypical people deal with business burnout because you're constantly doing the same thing. And instead of taking a pause and seeing, why isn't this working? You may just continuously keep doing that same thing, but like going deeper and deeper, and that digging yourself deeper into a hole. And by the time you look up, you're way down below. And so the thought of trying to climb back up to the top is exhausting, and that is business burnout. The next is energetic influence. So I've been a hypnotherapist for a few years now, and I've run over 500 sessions. And so for an example of this is like, I'll see people that may have just gotten like their certification, or I'll see people on like a viral reel or viral post or anything, and they want to promote their new practice, they want to promote their new business, but the way that they do it is spammy. It's really spammy, and it doesn't really vibrate on a high level. Like, yes, I love telling my coaching clients that yes, I am a hypnotherapist, and this is what I say to my clients on like another hypnotherapist's post. If you see me comment on anyone's post, I never talk about myself. I never even talk about like my clients. I don't self-promote on other people's posts because I stay on my account. The energy that you're pushing onto someone else's post or account, if you put that onto yours, people would find you. All that energy you're taking to spam other accounts, if you took that and really started to post things that your ideal client would want and why you are the person to provide the service to them, you would see a bigger shift than you just going and trying to tap into other people versus tapping into your own source. The next set is internalized oppression. So if you're someone with a marginalized identity, you may be holding on to the stereotypes that were impressed onto you while growing up about your identity. Like, oh, my type of person, black women don't make a lot of money, or black women aren't respected, or no one listens to black women. So why even bother? Why should I even go on live? Nobody listens to black women. Why should I even try to tell people how much I make? Black women don't make that much money. Or, oh, why why should I try to make six figures as a woman? No man wants a woman that makes more money than them. It's, it's all these things, these internalized ideals that may be holding you back. Like, you may be saying, yes, I want to make six figures, but in the back of your mind, you're holding on to this belief that as a woman, if you make more than a man, you're never going to find someone. Procrastination. So procrastination is linked to fear, but what it does create is like the link between fear and guilt. So when you procrastinate, and you know that you need to do the thing that is necessary for you to move the dial and get to six figures, when you procrastinate, it's going to create these feelings of guilt and shame. And then when you're operating on guilt and shame, you're not living in your power. So procrastination actually disempowers you. So that's a really important block. It's not just like a fun, or it's just a offshoot word or term. It really does block you from a lot of things in your life, just procrastinating. And then it just and procrastination is a habit that just gets worse and worse if you don't stop it in its tracks. Seasonal depression. That is something I dealt with clients, because everything will be going right in their business. They're implementing everything they're supposed to. They're having aligned clients, grading meetings, getting press, all these things, but they just don't feel good. They don't feel good. And that's a lot of times where we identify seasonal depression, whether it's winter or even summer. The next is financial trauma. Financial trauma is very dangerous in the fact that as you're running your business, sometimes you'll overspend, or sometimes you're not comfortable holding on to a certain amount of money. It feels uncomfortable. So you'll either spend it on a random purchase that doesn't push your business forward, or you'll just create some type of emergency where you have to spend that money anyway. So you're always going to be living in a cycle of feast and famine because of financial trauma, which is really, really dangerous for you and your health as an entrepreneur. So that's an important block to check in with. Is everyone how many blocks have you checked off so far? So the next one is stress. Stress with the financial trauma, and a lot of the things that I talked about earlier leads to stress. And the way that stress affects you is that it affects the way you think. You're not going to be able to make clear decisions with brain fog. And in business, fast and clear, aligned decisions are key to pushing you forward. Making the wrong decision can throw off your entire month, can throw off your entire quarter, can throw off the entire year. So stress is something that you need to stay away from in order to hit six figures. Racial trauma. So racial trauma, when it's something that is linked to internalized oppression, but it's more on your nervous system and your limbic system. So when you feel like you are being attacked because of your identity, or if someone says an off-cuff remark, it can really, really affect you, stop you in your tracks. And so you could be in the middle of a launch, and this feeling of not being safe because you're seen can throw off your entire launch, which once again affects your revenue and your business. So doing this inner work and looking at these blocks, it does all affect your bottom line. You don't have to choose between personal development and business development, because it's all connected. People like to think that business is just business, but if you are a new entrepreneur and you have less than 10 employees, business is definitely personal. Every person that is part of this company is contributing to its success. And if you are the head of the company, your health, your mental ability, everything is important to the success of your business. You don't just set up the website and run Facebook ads and that's it. You need to also work on yourself. The next one is anger. So dealing with anger is really important, because When you're running a business, you are going to have some people that come at you, whether they are customers, clients, people on social media. You're going to have to maintain your cool, because even if you are right, you're going to be seen as wrong because you are the business owner. I'm not saying the customer is always right, but you should deal with that customer in a calm manner because it's for your benefit. I've had people, I no longer really handle my DMs just because of this. It was a lot of entitled people on Twitter just like always DMing me, trying to just siphon energy over and over again, and they're not even clients. Or if they purchase something 2 years ago, they feel like they're entitled to my time and my, like I'm all of a sudden their pocket therapist or something. And so for me, that's the worst thing. I don't like to feel like people are trying to control me or people are trying to take advantage of me. So that will trigger my anger. And so understanding that, I started to create safety nets where I'm not triggered, my anger isn't triggered, and then I also started to work on my anger triggers. So, I'm never put in a position, even if I am put in the position to have to be triggered, it's never going to take me to a state where I can affect my business negatively. The next one is social anxiety. That's something I dealt with as an introvert, like networking before the pandemic, having to go to events and network, having to hop on calls, having to do all these things, or performance anxiety really can really limit you. You won't go after certain projects, or you won't reach out to certain people because you're going to be afraid to actually speak to them, when these people could be the connection that you need to easily catapult you to six figures. Like, you don't have to work so hard to hit 100K. You don't have to work so hard to get those clients. Making the right partnership with someone that can send you referrals keeps your business up, and that's less work on your part. And all you had to do was say hello. So you see how social anxiety can really be a huge block to your success, because it limits you and your network. And your network can really affect your net worth. Just looking, sorry, at the next one is perfectionism. Perfectionism could keep you in launch mode, or have you keep a lot of projects and ideas in the dark instead of bringing them to light and sharing them with the world. So it's important that you kind of check yourself. And one of the best ways to get over perfectionism is just to take action. The next is unconscious manifestation. So a lot of people are familiar with manifestation, but they don't realize that the feelings that you're feeling can really affect what you bring into your reality. Yes, yeah, perfectionism for sure. It's like it keeps you stuck. And so with unconscious manifestation, even when you're doing all the things on your to-do list, even when you are checking off the boxes, disaster can come just because you've been expecting it. You're expecting the other shoe to drop. So it's really important that you start to really check your emotions, how you feel in your body as you're running your business, in addition to what you're thinking, to make sure that you stay in alignment and start to bring things that you actually want in your reality. A wounded inner child. A wounded inner child can really affect your business because it keeps you from taking certain risks. It makes you get easily triggered by things that remind you of your childhood. For example, if I'm on the live now and someone just started to talk or say, "Oh, you talk funny, Juliet," or something, I could be like, "Oh, I'm just going to end this live because people made fun of my accent when I was little." So a wounded inner child can limit you to your experience as an adult entrepreneur. You're just having the 7-year-old version of you run your business, which is not profitable. The next is body love, or self-image, really, because I have clients that I tell them, I'm like, yeah, you should go on live. You should, start posting TikToks. And they're like, yeah, after I lose weight, I just don't like how I look right now. And it's like, I understand that you want to look a certain way, but the easiest way that I've lost weight, or the easiest way I've been able to look the way I want to look, is to start loving how I look now and loving myself as a person and nourishing my body, moving my body, making exercise, movement, everything an act of self-love instead of self-hate. So that is a really big thing, especially in the age of marketing where video is key and video is very powerful. You need to start looking at yourself as the sovereign being that you are versus just like a talking head on TikTok. Video is great because people can really connect with your soul and your energy. So it doesn't really matter how you look, but what you are saying to them and how you're saying it to them, what you are sending them through the video is what's going to make that connection. And then the last two is founder depression and workplace trauma. So founder depression is something, especially someone that has dealt with depression since my teens. The way that your mental patterns are is very, very strange. When it used to be very strange to me that everything was working out for me. It used to be very strange for me to be happy. Like, I was not really used to being happy most of the time. Like, it was very, very strange. And so it led me to self-sabotage often. So working on, and then when you are a founder, there's a lot of things that you're going to have to do alone. So that really, really triggers depressive episodes. So you have to be aware of that. That's why hiring someone is key. Like, have a virtual assistant helps, because that's someone else that's working with you on your business. The next is workplace trauma. So a lot of entrepreneurs have left their 9 to 5s because of issues within the workplace, especially if you have a marginalized identity, or even if you don't. The way that capitalism works, it doesn't is not to feed your soul. It's not soul fulfilling. It's really designed to break you down and control you. And that feeling of unworthiness, that feeling of constantly having to work, that feeling of not being enough can carry over to when you're starting your business and running your business. So it's very important to kind of release and heal from workplace trauma as you're running your business as well. So those are the 22 blocks. So in terms of releasing these blocks, I use my shift framework. So to start, you would do subconscious deprogramming and reprogramming, right? Then we have healing on an unconscious level and nervous system regulation. Then you would do flow activation. So this is key for my peeps with ADHD, especially since we have interest-based nervous systems. So really what lights you up, what you love to do in your business, because this will determine where you need help and how you run your business as well. And then T is tapping into your lineage and your limbic system. So really, really feeling centered and grounded as an individual and not making your value depend on your business. So this entire framework really creates a very enlightened leader and entrepreneur that can handle anything. You become very resilient and very unique. No one really can compare themselves to you. Even if you have the same title, whatever, people come to you because of you and who you are. Just like with my business, yes, I'm a hypnotherapist, but you can't say that any hypnotherapist is like me, right? People come to me and work with me because of the energy I embody. And so this shift framework, no matter what industry you're in, whether you're a realtor, you become the realtor that they want to work with. Whether you're a coach, self-love coach, you become the self-love coach that they want to work with. Whether you are a startup founder, you become a startup founder that investors want to speak to. So this is what really shifts you from just a new entrepreneur to an embodied one. And so this framework is what I use in Get Your Shift Together Brain Camp. So this is what we cover. So in Get Your Shift Together, it's 5 days and we work together on each area of your business. And so you'll also learn how to navigate each area of your business and manage it with self-hypnosis. So each day we're going over conscious strategies, and then we go into subconscious strategies as well. And so this way you can create alignment in all aspects of your life and business. You do not have to choose between self-development and business development, because in Get Your Shift Together, you have all of that in one. So you can work in alignment with you and your business. And that's how you see growth, and that's how you enjoy the growth, because there's one thing where you can go viral and you get a bunch of orders, but you weren't prepared. And so you're having the most miserable time handling all these new customers and clients when you're supposed to be enjoying your success. Or you struggled your way to success to finally hitting 6 figures, but you're so burnt out that you don't even want to go on vacation because now you have to plan it. So Get Your Shift Together Brain Camp, 5 days working together, and then a full year of the program going through it each week, 52 weeks. You're able to release not only these blocks, but shift into a more enlightened version of yourself. Because you don't need to change, you just really need to shift and align. And so that is it. I'm going to, this live is going to be saved right here on IGTV, so you can catch the beginning of it, and you can drop any questions below if you're watching the replay of this. I'm trying to keep it short because I know it's not really, the user interface for IGTV is not ideal for watching long videos. So that's why I'm just keeping it short and just giving tips. But check it out. Check out Get Your Shift Together Brain Camp. The link is also in my bio if you want to take a look at the sales page and the amazing new bonuses for this round. The bonuses are wild. They're so good. Like next month, we're going to talk about sleeping your way to 6 figures. Then the following month, we're going to do your business brain activation for ADHD. And then we're going to go into manifestation mastery. So it's really, really amazing. So manifestation, conscious manifestation, subconscious manifestation, and unconscious manifestation. I'm just giving you all the keys and codes to running a business that really fulfills you and supports you versus you always giving to your business and feeling like it's never giving back. So that is it for this live. Thank you so much for joining me live. And if you have any questions, drop them below on this replay, on this video. All right. Good night, everyone.